The first one that I want to tackle is the issue about privatization, in particular the Circulator. We've heard an awful lot with the streetcar as well about problems that arise with respect to these private entities that run these services. And you're also aware of the performance, in particular with the Circulator, in terms of the complaints of the workers and their treatment, and also the audits of the equipment and the safety issues that arise there. I want to ask you your position about taking these things back in-house, and I think you know my position on it. And then I want to talk about how we can proceed to do that. So could you just give me your response to that matter about taking it back in-house?
Sure. We have made substantial commitments and investments in the Circulator system. We have brought on 26 new vehicles just this fall. We have an additional 14 new vehicles that we are expecting in the upcoming months. That's 40 vehicles that will replace the existing fleet. And so in terms of performance, I'm happy to share that we've seen a significant reduction in a number of the defects, safety-sensitive defects that existed with the aging fleet. As the committee knows, we are in the process now of evaluating proposals, and while I can't speak about that process as it's ongoing, what I can say is that to the extent that there is an idea of bringing the service to be operated in-house, I think that would require a significant assessment and analysis to look at what that would entail. DDOT currently does not have the personnel or the framework to operate that system, but I am committed to doing that, to following up with the committee on what that analysis would look like and what the timeline would be to do that analysis.
And in that regard, I will ask you, because I will make a formal request that you begin that analysis straight away with some specificity, both as to what it would take in terms of resources and what you think it would take in terms of time. There is some belief by some that this can be done without a lot of time being expended, and I don't know that that's correct. But I don't know that it's not correct. And so I really need, again, with some specificity, a commitment by you to actually begin this analysis now and be able to present it to the committee. And I would ask that it could be presented to the committee fairly soon. Could you tell me what is reasonable and realistic there?
I will confer with our staff and respond to the committee with what that analysis would entail. To clarify, the operations of Circulator have never been in-house at DDOT, and so just to be clear there. But yes, I will follow up with the committee and provide a timeline on what that will look like. Okay,
and then in terms of the Circulator's operations, if we do have to have, even if only as a bridge, pursuit of this contract with a private contractor, why does it have to be a 5-year contract? I mean, there's also an opportunity to renew it, which could make it 10 years, but the initial contract, why couldn't it be, for example, 3 years? And in any event, what if your analysis shows that it would be beneficial or good or what have you to do it in-house? What are the opportunities for the District of Columbia to say we don't want to continue with the contractor?
Councilmember Che, we have taken the steps to take the service that has been contracted now through WMATA to a prime contractor. We've taken the steps to bring that management to DDOT.
Yes, and I want to applaud you for that, and we've been asking for that for a while too, so that's wonderful, but yes, go ahead.
Yes, and I just want to acknowledge that it's a significant step, and it's one that has required daily management as we project to award a contract and assume the management of that this coming summer, that is a tremendous endeavor for our agency. So I want to clarify that while we're certainly willing to do an assessment and an analysis, it's not something, the management of and transition of FTE positions, of the service itself, is likely not something that could happen that quickly. And so to your question about the 5 years, this is an option-based contract. So at the end of that 5 year, there is an option. We've designed and structured the RFP to incentivize performance and to ensure that we had willing parties who are willing to bid and operate the service. And I think we've gotten to that place with what we've got now, where we've got real incentives to improve the performance of the system, and I'm optimistic that that's what we will see going forward.
So does it have to be a 5-year commitment, a 5-year contract?
As it stands now, yes, that is how it's written.
That may be how it's written, but is it inevitably the case that it be 5 years? Why 5 years? Why not 3?
5 years was I think the standard that we looked at in evaluating other similar types of contracts to incentivize participation from industry, but I could provide a formal response to the committee about how we landed on that exact number. Okay,
and then what if during let's say it were a 5-year contract, if during that period we decided, based upon analysis and preparations and all the rest of that, that after 3 years we could really do it in-house? Are there safety valves in these contracts to allow us to do that?
I can provide that answer to the committee about how the contract is structured.
Okay. And then there was a comment earlier by one of the witnesses to say that they had wanted to find out who's bidding, because there's an impression that the small pool of companies that could do this are all tarnished in some way. Is that information, is that held as proprietary information until there's an award?
Yes, because we are in the middle of that process, I can't talk specifically about where we are.